Warriors of the linear variety, welcome. I am Scornful Exaltation, and this is Line War. This match is from Group F of the official T2 1v1 tournament, which is running from July 1st to July 7th. If any of you don't already have Line War and would like to get it, I've linked the Steam page in the description below. Down there you'll also find a link to the tournament bracket and the Line War Discord, where you can get development updates, find matches, and connect with our lovely community. With all that out of the way, let's get into the match. This is between someone said that my nickname sucks in blue and Turtle in red. My appreciation for someone said that my nickname sucks is not something I've been quiet about since I started watching replays. He's consistently been one of the most entertaining players to watch, and especially over the course of the last tournament, he proved himself to be one of the best, if not the best, arguably. Quite a few people in that, or there's a handful of guys in that race, or in that conversation, but nickname, pretty well the undisputed king of commando usage. His commandos consistently get significant damage and put him in a great spot on the map. Nickname won the last tournament. Since then, there have been some balance patches, some changes. He hasn't. I think he kind of stepped away from the game a little bit, so he hasn't been quite in that same kind of dominating form that he was towards the end of the last tournament, but still one of the most creative players in the game, and just an exceptionally strong player. Turtle, I haven't seen as many of his replays. I think I've seen him a couple times, but given that he is currently number 1 on the ranked leaderboard, this is certainly not someone to be underestimated, and Group F overall is just completely stacked. Let me see if I can pull this up real fast. Group F, yeah, nickname Kartoffel, B136, and Turtle. Definitely, in my opinion, the strongest group. 136 and Kartoffel. Also, veteran players, very good. Those guys. Group F is a bloodbath. That is definitely. That's definitely a very tough group, and this is kind of like the mainline heavyweight bout of that group, I think. So let's take it. So that's the players we should be in for a really excellent game, and let's take a look at the map. I have not seen this map seed yet. I've kind of had other things going on, so I haven't been on top of the tournament as much. I did hit record, didn't I? Yes, I did. I haven't been on top of the tournament as much, but we're doing one today. And this map, we have a very open, flat ground, a lot of flat open ground here in the center. I see a trade route right here. This is what I call a local trade route, which means that it's a trade route you can get from your initial starting zone. Also, we've got a couple of bodies of water here, so that could be obviously used for amphibious operations. You can... These, like this one right here, I think it could be worth putting a shipyard on. Most of these are pretty small though, but that does give you some room, some extra room to maneuver aircraft, and can be used to anchor entrenchments. The southwestern corner obviously has a lot of eco in it, and there's not really another cluster of eco like this anywhere else on the map. So I think if a player can get control of this southwestern corner, that could be a very powerful piece of their economy. That said, if you control if we see a north-south split, this is a lot of territory, especially here in the center. If a player is able to control the center, I think that is also a pretty good win condition. So let's see how these players are going to prioritize their picks. It is worth noting, Nickname has said before that he feels like 90% of the game is the pick phase, so he's generally pretty careful about his picks, especially the first pick. But one thing that I like about watching Nickname, and one of the kind of patterns that I've recognized, he is someone that will sacrifice early economy to move his troops into a better position. He will straight up just put a blue line to where he actually wants to be on the map, and sacrifice that group of infantry's cap time and put himself in a little bit behind economically to have a better position on the map. I've seen him do this several times, and it often works out for him. Nickname is also very good with micro. He's able to win fights that when you just look at the fight, look at the size of the force, and you're like, there's no way he wins this, and he will somehow either come out on top or at least do enough damage to the attacking force that he's still able to maneuver and get into a better spot later on. I'm sorry I can't talk about Turtle more. I just haven't seen him play as much. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing what Turtle can do. I mean, you don't get to number one in the leaderboard by being a scrub, so I'm sure Turtle has. I'm sure he's got some strats, some tricks, and I think we're going to see a really excellent game. Nickname tends to deliver good games anyway, even when he doesn't win, just because of his tendency. Again, very good with commandos, and not just dropping them in either. He will run them in, he will use transport boats to get them in. He's good at getting them in, past the front lines and putting them in good spots, and then just everything about the way he uses commandos. I don't want to harp on the commandos too much more, but it's something we're gonna have to look for sure. It's definitely something to keep an eye on. One of the weaknesses of Nickname, though, a couple of things that have been used against him in the past is he tends to float a lot of capital, so he's not always really getting the most out of his economy, and he tends to operate with a very small army. He keeps his military pretty small, which, when you're really good at micro, you can get away with it, but against the very best players, it does tend. When he loses, it tends to be because someone really, really strong is able to punish him for not developing his eco sites as quickly, not being as quick to spend his money, and not fielding a large enough army. So far, we've had this central section perfectly overlap into a contested zone, and both players kind of take a stab at the southwestern corner. I don't see either player going here. If Turtle chooses to consolidate his position and pick another zone of interest attached to what he's already got, he could end up, he could grab all of these. I don't think that there's a cross pick available here, so he would need some sort of transport tech to get onto the rest of the map. Nickname could also consolidate, and he would also get a pretty decent little cluster of resources back here. I don't think that would be the best thing that he can do. There's not, the problem with both positions, or the problem with both of those paths, they don't give you very much expansion opportunity. They don't have a lot of there's not a lot of surface area to expand, and that is going to be the more powerful economic route early on. Both players are going into the north now, picking spots up here. So moving away from the south, getting up into the north. Nickname getting up into this northwestern corner, which could be a bit concerning, but both players kind of like not in a great spot, but that's just kind of how the contested zone is shaken out. I kind of like Turtle's position a bit more. Doesn't have the energy within his zone of interest, but it's close enough that that's not a major concern. Nickname has 2 energy wells, but I think Turtle's position gives him a bit better coverage to expand and get onto the map, where Nickname could more easily get himself trapped. I think we'll be seeing, transport jets or transport boats from Nickname anyway, so I don't think it'd really affect his strategy too much if he did need to cross this body of water in order to get onto the map. But it is something that could slow him down. Both players take a stab at the southeast. This doesn't really come to anything. Got a contested zone. Neither player really getting enough territory to make it worth starting here. Let's be 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's just really not worth it. Let's see. Did I miss something? Is that? Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I feel like I'm missing one of... Oh, this is what he did. He consolidated here. Okay, so for a second I was like, where did Turtle pick? He did consolidate down here. Nickname taking a position in the northeast. I thought that he actually might start here. I really like this for him. There's not a lot of eco sites here, but you get this town, come up towards the center, and you'd have a lot of surface area to expand. Nickname instead choosing the northeast corner, and from this position, I think we'll see him take probably an energy and go for a more tech-heavy opening. Maybe get some transport jets going. Worth noting, the energy-producing structures did get changed in a very recent patch. So they produce more energy, but they store less. Yeah. So with this kind of pick pattern, I think we'll see a very quick tech build. It might even be tanks to abuse this flat terrain that we have. And Turtle does start down at the bottom, so as I always do, let's start with player 1 and see what kind of tech path we're gonna go. So Nickname takes you notice this 3-lane command here. This was as I pointed out, I think it's a strong position that Turtle could have taken. So Nickname pushing up into that area, very tech heavy as expected. Gets the refinery up very quickly, airport, 2 factory tank followed by a barracks. Let's see what is going on with Turtle. And he wanted that local trade route. This can be very, very powerful for him. Once this port finishes, this is a lot of economy that he's going to have, and with them being separated like this, this is going to give him this is going to be very powerful. 476 to 320, and that's before the merchant ship, or before the trade route is actually factored in. This is going to be huge. So it's really going to be an uphill fight for Nickname, I think. It's going to depend a lot on how well he's able to, how much he's able to expand, where he's able to get to while Turtle's in this kind of fragile state. He's fragile in the sense that he hasn't put hardly any money into his military. So he's got the airport, and that's it. He's got 2 port towns, 3 farms. That said, he will be like this. This gives him a lot to start with. So this is going to be very dangerous, considering there's virtually no chance that Nickname gets in here and gets damage. He went tanks. Tanks are not going to be able to navigate these mountains very quickly. It's a very narrow area, so Turtle could block this off very easily. Nickname's headed that way. He is going to be aggressive with the tanks. Tanks do really well against infantry. My general rule is like 4-to-1 is what you need infantry-wise to beat tanks. You could probably increase that since you're talking about Nickname having the tanks, and I've already talked about how good his micro is. Okay, so he's still not sure that Turtle isn't in this area, so these are probably scouting tanks. As weird as that is to say. Because tanks have the vision of bats. Turtle gonna show his... almost said Apache. He's gonna show his helicopter. Nickname gonna be defensive against this infantry force. With the helicopter, it definitely pushes the math into Red's favor. I love this expansion barracks out in the middle of the map. Because really, I think Nickname's biggest advantage right now is that he has a position on the map. He has production, and there's really only one direction that Turtle can expand. Like, he's got to push out in this kind of like northwestern direction. 4 tanks here is going to do. Like, 4 tanks can definitely kill all of this infantry. Where is that commando going? There's a commando drop going off right now. I don't see where it's going. Oh, it's going aggressive. Nice. Okay. So yeah, Nickname putting the pressure on early. He knows that, or he doesn't know yet, but he's guessing that Turtle has gone very eco-heavy with his opening. 2 helicopters out now. We should see SAMs on the way. Nickname did get an interceptor, so he might be just relying on that for his early anti-air. And here we go, using a tank, using that tank mobility to run by. Turtle sees the drop. Again, as I would expect from someone at the top of the leaderboard. I like these little garrisons that he's got. This barracks is an absolute necessity. And Nickname is getting over here to cut off Turtle's eastward expansion. I said northwest earlier. He's got to go in a northeast direction. That's east. I do know my west from my east. Whatever my mouth may say. $772, $540, and we see Turtle sitting on quite a bit of capital. One of those commandos got caught. Nickname's still trying to maneuver this commando out of there. Another set of commandos coming in. So it looks like Turtle's going to be able to run this one down. I wonder if we're going to see him push any more units up there to that to the coast of this peninsula here, kind of like the coastline, this northern coastline. Two more farms. Where are those? Oh, here they are. And Turtle's putting that economy to work. We see it. Added this barracks earlier. Barracks in a factory, now another barracks going up near this farm. I want to see Nickname put some production over here on this in this east, this kind of southeastern section, to contest Turtle's movement. Another barracks as well. So yeah, okay, barracks or not barracks. Turtle's starting to spend that money. Still sitting on 800 capital plus 400. Nickname. I would like to see Nickname pressure with these tanks. He's got a lot of tanks against infantry. I think he's holding back because that's the edge of his interceptor range. Alright, some more commandos go down. So Turtle, very keen to the commando drops. Has air patrol just hovering over this area. So unlikely to see the commandos get anything done in the main base of Turtle. And it seems fine. You win that round. I'll drop him over here. Let's see what you got over here on the east. He's going to move in the tanks to support as well. So I expect we're going to see a redeployment of Turtle's aircraft. Indeed we do. Helicopters routed in. Commandos hitting the ground. Turtle immediately puts down a point command to defend his barracks. Town on the way. I don't think Nickname has built anything up yet as far as his eco sites. And this is kind of scary because all of Nickname's attacks are getting parried pretty well, and Turtle's still sitting in on nearly 1,000 capital and plus 400. So very powerful economy churning away. Gonna dump a bit of that bank into two barracks in a factory. So this is about to be a very important production center for Turtle. Kind of just, it's not even like an outpost, just kind of an extension of his main base. One barracks does go down. Looks like these tanks also wanting to take both of these barracks went down. Have an attack over here, taking out some barracks, so both players lose 2 barracks here. Turtle also losing a farm. Turtle deploying interceptors to try and get whatever damage he can onto these tanks, but I think these tanks will get at least another farm. Probably could even get this factory, maybe. Does he see it? He should see it. Does see it. One tank goes down. Red tanks on their way now. And it looks like Turtle's going to try and block these tanks from getting onto the factory. All of these tanks are pretty beat up, so if Turtle brings his helicopters, they should be able to finish this off. But with all of these troops pulled back to try and defend the first run by tanks, Nickname able to get 3 more tanks in. This lone helicopter not going to be enough to save this barracks. Not likely to be enough to save this barracks, I think. Factory survives, though. Losing a barracks isn't a huge loss. Fairly cheap, fairly quick to replace. Lots of missile boats, actually. I didn't even see the shipyard come up. Love to see these missile boats. Nickname doing a lot with the commandos, but it looks like this commando position should fall. Entrenched commandos are very tough to deal with especially with just regular infantry. They do so much damage, and having that defensive buff just makes them excellent units. Finally have a factory on the... not a factory, a farm. I think I heard a rock farm go up somewhere. Yeah, rock farm on the way. 910, 907. So, like I said, expansion is gonna be the more powerful economic device early on. But it is still very important to get these eco sites up. This big tank force should be able to punch straight through this infantry and get on top of what is for Turtle the northeastern productions outpost. One of these days I'm going to learn to actually refill my water before I start one of these casts. Airstrip for Nickname here in the forest. Factory on the way in the middle of the map. And Nickname has really captured a big portion of the map. Turtle definitely needs to get some special tactics going to get out of this corner. Goes for the commando jet play. Gonna try and get on top of this refinery. Losing this refinery would be a very big deal for Nickname. I don't know that he has another refinery up. He's got something up. There's one. Should be one more somewhere. Ooh, runs tanks into an entrenchment. Good move there by Turtle. Smart tactic. Probably going to save at least one of... could save one of these barracks. And this heavy tank force continues to... this heavy tank force from Nickname continues to lean on Turtle's kind of northern front here. The commando drop did get stopped, but a lot of damage put onto that refinery. A second drop could likely, especially if both of these transports take off at the same time, likely to see this refinery go down. And Turtle doing a good job getting his missile boats in position. Oh, not quite enough damage to take down that transport jet. This one probably will die though. Or nope, not quite on top of it. Oh, he does get it. There it goes. Both. I don't expect either of those to get back. A lot of infantry coming out of Turtle. Very powerful production going on here, and he's keeping quite a bit of his factory units back. Keeping the factory units back. Okay, now going to send them forward. This is going to be a pretty dangerous push that doesn't look like Nickname has anything in the area to stop. Nickname's tanks were able to punch through, take out both of those barracks, so this northeastern expansion has been effectively halted. Turtle is still sitting on 800 capital plus 400 in profit. 1054 to 1228 in favor of Nickname. I kind of don't like this though. Nickname's production is very spread out, so that's that makes it difficult to respond to a concentrated push like this. He's going to have to, work on bringing some of these units back. Running by with a little squad of infantry, targeting this factory. reducing the amount of factory production would be a big deal. We see a carrier completed for Turtle. Wouldn't be surprised to see that carrier get up into the kind of northern part of this lake and launch operations against this refinery and this production center, or nickname's main base. As expected, this very powerful army rolling forward and not really encountering much effective resistance. Nickname adding a barracks and a factory over on the northeast. Nickname has a pretty significant income advantage right now. So if he's able to, he doesn't even need to really kill this big army. He just needs to slow it down. If he can slow this push down and kind of grind it down, he has the economy to continually add more production, and eventually the weight of his economy will be too much for Turtle to continue to fight against. Wow, I'm actually pretty surprised that commando drop didn't kill that refinery. So these two refineries still up. This one still up as well. I think that's all three of them. It is another factory. And probably not a good situation when you've got interceptors trying to kill tanks. It'd be nice to see some strikers come out of nicknames. So strikers or bombers. He's got the airstrip here for now. So he could use some dedicated ground attack aircraft. Also would like to see some SAMs or some anti-air to try and curb these commando drops by Turtle. Really good game so far. And Turtle sat back. He powered up on the economy that he powered up on his economy while he had an economic advantage, and avoided taking heavy unit losses, and now is able to push out with a very scary army. Nickname leveraging his economic advantage, though, putting down a lot of extra production here in the center. Gonna move his commandos over now. Try and protect his energy. A little late. More than a little late. Missile boat's gonna be able to provide cover. I kind of wish that Nickname had used his transport jets to just drop the commandos over. Commandos do run pretty fast, though. Hasted commandos have the same speed as unhasted tanks, so they move quick. Should be able to stop the second refinery from getting destroyed. Airstrip goes down. These... Oh, there's another airstrip up over here. Okay. Second airport. I hope we get some attack aircraft, some ground attack aircraft out of this second airport. This is a big front, so it's going to take a lot of units to really lock this down and contain this breakout, but Nickname might be able to use this very wide choke to kind of constrain and Turtle's movements and try and bleed some units off of this. Still going for this commando drop. Turtle has been on top of shutting these down. Another one of Turtles goes on, and not surprisingly targeting this second refinery. I think they're trying to get a line of entrenchments going. Turtle going around it, though. This is the bad thing about it. So, like, this area is just so wide open. I would kind of like to see entrenchments on the sides of the woods, so that if your opponent is gonna try and like attack you, or if he's gonna try and go around your defenses, make him take that speed penalty. So maybe you can get units in position to kind of either just outright stop them or funnel them back into your prepared positions. What do we have? Helicopters. Helicopter for now. He might switch this, but I really hope he doesn't. Not a lot of anti-air on the field for Turtle. He does have a couple of SAMs back here. He's got a SAM position back here. SAMs are making their way to the front. Another commando drop. Just a little hop over the water. Again, Turtle just trying to get out onto the map anywhere he can. Town on the way, another refinery, another town, and a rock farm also. So, Nickname paying attention to his eastern territories and looking to shut down, and still trying to seal off this northeastern direction from Turtle. Looks like Turtle's attack on the front has kind of run out of steam. Probably needs to regroup for a big attack. And yeah, and this is kind of the problem with having this southwestern position. He's just lost control of the map. He didn't get out into the map fast enough. So now he's in a pretty dire position. No bank. He's in the red. 1,120 to 1,700. So excellent income for Nickname. He can continue to add more and more production. He's at +5. He's over 500 in profit. 300 isn't really a bank, especially this late in the game. Nickname, of course, sees this. His multitasking is very good. His awareness is very good. So, responding with his commandos to this kind of drop and breakout attempt. Also, getting the sub pen earlier was a really it was a very smart decision. Both the sub pen and the subs themselves are stealth, so less likely or less able to be targeted by aircraft and much less vulnerable. So a good way to kind of like minimally invest into a navy here and have enough power to just kind of like harass and deny the water to his opponent. I want to say a big drop, but like this late in the game, 6 commando drop isn't that big. There's not a lot here to defend though. Nickname targeting the airport first. Might be going for one of these port towns. Oh, he's already shut down the trade route. That's a big problem. This little sub pack able to snipe one of the ports and shut down the trade route. What did he get? Something just died. Oh, that was the carrier. Tanks running by. I thought Turtle might actually be able to break through that. The entrenchment wasn't really in place. Nickname still holds this area though. Big kind of platoon of tanks running by Turtle's army. A bit of an overinvestment in the SAMs. Oh no, he pulled the SAMs from back there. Okay, so this is fun. Yeah, just not enough troops here, and Nickname's not get. Yep, there we go. I was about to say Nickname's not letting him pull back and regroup. Pushed up with the infantry to keep that engagement going, keep the attrition going. And yeah, really good game. both players played really well, but Turtle, again, he had a powerful position for early economy, but he wasn't able to get out of that corner. It might have been good to try and blue move some units out, just kind of run out and get on the map, and then like with your barracks, and then put like a barracks like in your main, and then back cap that, later. But I don't know, both of these guys are a lot better than me. It was just fun to watch, and it's fun to try and think of any possible way to try to identify the problems, or try to identify the choices that led to the outcome of the match, and try and identify ways to mitigate those any potential drawbacks or weaknesses of any particular position. One thing I don't think I actually touched on was Nickname was able to use his tank, because tanks are such a powerful unit, especially against infantry. Nickname spent a lot of the early and mid game fighting with just his tanks, so all of his infantry was free to continue capping while his tanks harassed the front. While his tanks held the front, while his commandos were forcing Turtle to kind of move slowly and devote troops and keep troops back in his own territory to keep key infrastructure from getting taken out. So it's a really cool game. I thought about saying something else, but I'm not going to.